If when you enter 2024, you said that this was going to be your year, you are going to thrive, you are going to get everything that you wanted, you're going to stay focused and you're going to crush it. But we're in October and you're looking back and you're wondering, where did the time go? You didn't get a chance to do the things that you really wanted to do. And in this video, I'm going to help you create a strategy to ensure that you crush your 2025 goal. Welcome back to another brand new video, or welcome if you're brand new here. Before you even start planning for the next year, you need to prepare. You need to prepare to succeed. You need to be very clear on what it is that you want. You need to create a mindset and attitude to get there. And we're going to dive into this video on how to develop that. If you're brand new here, my name is Mae Alice. I create lifestyle content. And if you're a returning subscriber, bonjour, welcome back. Let's dive right in. One of the main reasons why we don't actually succeed at what it is that we set, we don't achieve the goals that we set for ourselves, is because usually we are not truly aligned with those goals. We created those goals based on what was pushed in our face, based on what we were enticed by, the shiny object on social media telling us that we could do this, we can achieve this, etc. And we really did not take the time out to really understand how exactly pursuing this thing was going to help us flourish in our next phase. I have been a culprit of that. I have been a victim of that, quote unquote, and I understand how easily it is to get roped into that. So if you want to ensure that you excel in 2025, first thing that you need to do before you actually set any goal is to create an audit of where you are right now. What exactly is going on? What part of your life is it that you're flourishing at? What part of your life do you think you need to improve certain things on? Not because society told you that you need to improve on that, but because you truly feel like there's something missing in there. There's some part of you that you would like to, go a little bit further in, or a different area of life you'd like to explore a bit better, but you're not sure how to do that, or you feel like there's some component of that missing. You want to sit down and do a complete audit of that. Now, this is where the vulnerable part comes in, and I mean getting pen to paper. If you don't have a journal, like a physical journal, what are you doing? You want to make sure that you're constantly writing down those spots, because sometimes when we're in like the most random places, whether it is in the shower or we're laying on our bed at night, or we're just like relaxing, we have those little moments where we're reflecting on, what if I actually did that, or what if this happened, or how come this, like you're really analyzing yourself and your situation as it is. And that is the most honest and most vulnerable space that you can be in, because this is where you really truly get to understand what goals do you want to set for yourself. So first thing, before creating any goals whatsoever, before setting that out, do an audit of where you are. Understand every single area: financial, health-wise, family, relationships, career, school, whatever it is, spiritual journey. All these little areas, if these are places of things that we usually feel that we are missing some part of it, or we're not exactly where we want to be, understand the big picture for what it is, because from that big picture you can now create goals that are actually going to help you paint a better picture. Which brings us to the next step: setting goals. Now, when it comes to setting goals, if you're someone who's in corporate, usually when you're setting goals, especially if you're like in a managerial or supervisor role, you're always given like a target to meet something. If you're in sales, for example, or even if you're not in sales, you're usually given like a target or something to achieve, something to work towards. So my career background is marketing. One of the things that you do when you're creating a plan or a strategy is that you use a model called SOSTAC, SOSTAC. It can be applied to your personal life. Also, if you're in business, you can use the SWOT analysis. You can also use that towards your personal life. These are very great tools to use to help you create very clear goals that you can always come back to and ensure that you actually achieve them. So a SOSTAC basically stands for situational analysis, which was the first step that I talked about. Like, do an audit of where you are. What does the situation call for? And I have done that for my personal life. Like I've literally sat down and applied the SOSTAC model to my personal life. And let me tell you, the clarity that you get from that is absolutely nothing like no other. And this is what companies use when it comes to marketing, or marketing managers, directors use. Understand the situation for what it really is. Then you have your objectives, which is this part right here, the goals. What exactly is it that you want to achieve? Based on that analysis, where do you prefer, or where would you prefer to see yourself at such and such time? So when it comes to goal setting, you want to be very clear. You want to make sure that you have a very clear system that you can always come back and track that. So you could use a model like the SMART model. Be very specific about the goal. Make sure that you can actually measure that goal. Make sure that this goal is actionable, like you can actually action out that goal, which is also part of a SOSTAC model. What are the steps that you're going to take for that goal? Make sure that it's relevant to what you're trying to achieve based on that situational analysis. So not just creating some random goal because again it sounded nice. Is it relevant to the life that you're trying to create? Is it relevant to the success map that you're trying to create? And also time bound. By what date and time would you like to achieve that goal? So one of my goals is to grow this YouTube channel. Now I have not been very consistent with it, and I know for a fact that that has also played a part in the very slow growth, because I've never really sat down and said I want to grow this channel by this number of person by this year. I've never done that. I've just like sporadically created content because it was just a hobby for me. However, after careful reflection, I now know that I do want to grow this channel very strategically. So I had to like really sit down and understand, how can I do that? What is the situation right now? What are the steps I'm gonna take to meet those objectives that I've set? And it's not just like grow the channel by what, by when, what numbers, analytics wise, etc. Now I am a data person. I love data. I love the little back end areas of it, like what makes something work. That's how my mind thrives. So I like to use those little components when it comes to creating goals as well for my personal self. So you want to make sure that you actually create goals that you want, not something that you think is going to be achievable based on how easy someone else made it, because this person probably has set the goal for themselves and have done this entire process, and they actually took the steps required to meet the goal for themselves. So number one, do a situation analysis of where you are right now. What does your situation look like, and what would you like your situation to look like instead by that date, by that month, etc. So from that, you create the goals that you want. Be very specific. I would like to achieve this diploma by December 2024. That's it. I would like to grow this YouTube channel by 30% in terms of watch time by December 2024. That's it. Be very specific, be very clear, be very ensure that you can measure that goal, because that is what's going to determine your success factor, your success rate, whether or not you met that goal. Instead of just sporadically creating something that is pushed in your face consistently. Which brings me to step 3. Now, when you're pursuing something that you're trying to succeed at, it is a given that there will be times when it can be discouraging, when you will fall short of your metric or your goal, and that in itself can kind of create a damper on you, which will cause you to kind of like fall back. And this is the most important thing when it comes to actually succeeding in life, or one of the most important things, and that is your mindset. Your mindset, the way that you approach things, the way that you look at things, is a very important factor. It is so easy to give up, because it doesn't take anything from you to quit, to give up. I am currently doing a diploma. I have my final paper, which is due in 3 weeks, and I have a 9-to-5 job, very hectic, very demanding, etc. And I love my career, but the amount of times I came to quit on this paper because it was just so much work, so much reading, so much. I am so proud of myself because I decided very earlier on I sat down when I decided to apply for this diploma. It's a diploma from the Chartered Institute of Marketing. I actually did research around it. It's like, what do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? Not because someone said to do it. I was not sure about the degree route at this stage in my life. I wasn't really sure about it, but I knew that I wanted to do or pursue some higher level education, like tertiary, or university level education. And I did research around it, figured out the pros and cons, or the benefits it would bring to my life. Correction, not just pros and cons, but the benefits it would bring to my life. Then I applied, and what I did, I told myself, I literally sat down and I mapped out the different stages. Like, I'm gonna do this, it's gonna take me this amount of time, I'm gonna do this, it's gonna take me this amount of time, etc. And I was like, oh my God, after my first week of studying, I was like, this is a lot of work. So you know what I did? I actually paid for the program in full so that I would not chicken out. I would not be discouraged to continue, even though I felt so many times that I wanted to just like finish with that because it was just like way too much to handle at that time. I knew that I set that goal not because of somebody else. I knew that I set that goal because I knew how it was going to have a domino effect in my life in many areas. Looking back now, I'm very happy that I approached it that way, because if I did not do that, my mindset of giving up and this is too hard and this is too much work and I'm exhausted and I'm tired or I'm bored or I don't like reading this, etc., it would not work. I would probably be done with this like from month one. I would probably do one paper and finish with it. But I decided to pursue it regardless, even though there were so many times when I wanted to give up. And another thing is that my attitude towards it was very different. I knew that I did not like reading a 300-page book, and instead I tried to find ways that I could understand the theory, the concept in video form, and I found professors who would teach what was in the book in a format that I would better enjoy. So you have to make sure that your mindset towards whatever goal that you set, even though when there will be moments where you want to give up on it, is of success. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And you show every single day, no matter what. If you need to take a break, take a break. Don't quit, but take a break. Take a step back, take a breather, and return to it, because your attitude towards your goals, your attitude towards succeeding is the only thing that is going to help you. Stop giving up on yourself, because there is no one else who is going to put in the work than you. If you want to get to that point by the end of 2025, you need to embrace a different mindset and a different attitude to win. Habits. There are so many habits that as we grow older, we're constantly changing those. We're adopting new ones, we're holding on to older ones, we're trying new things, and sometimes some of them do stick and sometimes some of them don't stick at all. One of my habits that I really do miss doing is journaling. I used to journal and write every single day for years and years and years, and my mind was constantly at peak performance. However, lately, one of the things that I have realized this year was that I found it a struggle to read a full book. It was just so crazy. And I realized that it was because my habits have changed, or my attention has shifted from spending too much time consuming short form content that is going to shorten my attention span, number one, doesn't allow me to really focus on something, and creates an issue for me in the long run. And by identifying that, I noticed that, I need to change that habit. So as a result, I had to make decisions to eliminate some social media. So TikTok, while I am on TikTok, I do not have the app on my phone at all. I don't go on there. It's just there. I have considered deleting the profile because I don't really find value in it at all. To be quite honest, I don't find the value in it for me. For somebody else, probably it does work, but for me, I don't find the value. I just find it just makes my mind lazy. And as a result of that, I have made other decisions from that one thing to recultivate different habits to help me ensure that I'm going to succeed in whatever goal that I want for myself. So if you are partaking in different habits that you find is kind of keeping you very slow, very relaxed, nothing wrong with being relaxed, don't get me wrong, but like too bored, too lazy, if that makes sense, but you don't feel the drive to do something, like you want to do something, you feel inspired to do something, but you just don't have that motivation or that drive to actually get up and do it. If you feel that thing kicking in, or this little energy kicking in, is probably because you're partaking in habits, or you're engaging in different habits that are creating that. There's always a domino effect to everything that we do. So you want to make sure that from now, this next 2 months or 2 months and a half that we have left in 2024, you want to make sure that you really sit down and you identify what are some things that I'm doing right now or have done this year that is creating how I feel, how is creating this energy from me. So exercise. I loved exercise and I love walking. I used to go to the beach every single Saturday, and I stopped doing it for 5 years. I went to the beach for the first time last week Sunday after 5 years, and it was as a result of me realizing, wait a minute, like my energy is just so low. I don't feel inspired to do what I want to do in terms of creating content. I've always loved creating content. Always. It's always been part of me for as long as I know. I've always been a blogger. I've always loved writing. I've loved inspiring. And I found that because I don't do the things that I used to do, like go walking in the afternoon or the morning, going to the beach on a Saturday to relax, journaling, I noticed, these things, and also partaking in short form content, these habits have curated how I feel and how I'm operating in terms of more personalized goals, not like career goals or success goals, etc., but like goals, for example, in terms of well-being. I noticed that these habits were creating a damper or keeping a cap on that. So you really want to do an analysis of like what are some, or a check rather, of the habits that you're partaking in right now, and what habits you would like to partake in instead to help you get to those goals that you have set for yourself. Which brings it back to the SOSTAC. So the SOSTAC: situational analysis, objectives, tactics, action. So the actions are gonna make sure that you actually do the tactics towards the objectives, and control. So the control is where you basically always do a self-check. You're always checking in to see what is working, what is not working, what can you adjust, what can you remove, etc. And doing that consistently, not just from the beginning, but consistently. Every month you set a time and a date. So every Sunday I'm gonna sit down, or every first of the month I'm gonna sit down and I'll do like a control session. I'm gonna sit down and identify what have I done towards these objectives, what is working for me towards these objectives, what have not been working for me, what are some habits I'm falling back on, what do I need to course correct, because it can be, again, we're human beings and we will always find ourselves like skipping off to another direction or a shiny object, because that's just the nature of life. That's just a reality, and it's not as simple black and white to stop doing it, because we're not robots. We're not programmed that way. We thrive on emotions. So you do want to have that level of control every single month, just to check in to see where you are based on what it is that you would like to achieve. And if you put in those actions or you follow those steps every single month for the next 12 months, just give yourself 12 months to do that. 12 months to take an action, 12 months to show up, 12 months to be consistent with the habits that are going to help you achieve that goal. By the end of 2025, you will probably not recognize who you are. Trust me, I have done it with myself, and I've always gone back to this formula to help me get to where I am right now in my life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do want a free guide, I do have a guide called the Success Mastery Workbook. It is a workbook on goals, habits, mindset, and style. I do love the style. You guys are on my channel for style. I do talk about, it's a little crash course that you just go with yourself, like just to like identify where you are right now in those 4 areas, and like just have like a hash out session with yourself before the year ends. If you would like access to that freebie, I'm not selling anything to you. I don't have a cost. I don't have anything to sell whatsoever. Not at this point. Probably in about 12 months I'll create something, but for now I'm not selling anything. It's just a free guide that I've had on there. You can click the link in the description box and access that. It is absolutely free, and it's a great place to start, especially if you're not sure where to begin with this entire process. It's a really great guide to help you navigate that. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Check out this video right there, or this video right here, but it might be on this side. Bisous. Bye.